everyone. Welcome back to Shape Out Adventures. My name is Tammy, and today we're going to be venturing into the world of budgeting. How much money do you think you should bring? How much money I think you should bring, and random pop up expenses to consider. This is going to be a short video because I'm going to tell you at the beginning you need to bring at least $5,000. Regardless of how much money that your agency promises to give you, you need to bring a minimum of $5,000. Let's get into it. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will always be here watching, waiting, loving. Thank you. So, 5 things we're going to consider in this video. 5 things that we're going to make very short. Housing. In the United States, rent is expensive and it is slowly climbing. I advise you to look for your apartments before you even get to the US. And I advise you to look for apartments before you even accept a job offer in the United States, okay? Like, do not just be like, oh, I like this state, I like this area, boom, acceptance. Boom. If you like the area, that means a lot of people might like the area. And if a lot of people like the area, that means it might not be that much housing. And if there is a housing available, maybe it's expensive. And maybe with your salary that you are getting, you maybe cannot afford the housing by yourself. Disclaimer: a lot of the apartments in the United States require that you make 3 times your rent, which means if your rent is $1,000, they will ask you for a pay stub. Well, not a pay stub, or like a letter from your agency or a letter from the hospital detailing the amount of money that you're going to be making a month. And if you don't make more than $3,000 a month, you cannot afford a $1,000 apartment. Spoiler alert, a lot of the apartments over here do not cost $1,000. So if you get an apartment that's cost like $1,400 or $1,500, you need to be making 3 times $1,400, 3 times $1,200, however much money it is. And they are very serious with that. So yeah, rent alone is going to be between $1,100 to like $1,300, $400 a month. So you need to bring at least 3 months rent, 2 to 3 months rent, which means you need to bring at least $3,000 just for rent. That's $3,000 of the $5,000 that I said you should bring. Poof, gone. Next, we're moving on to transportation. Transportation. If you did not get transportation with IAS, which is International Auto Source, like I did, you will not have a free rental car until you get your own car. I had a free rental car for 2 months that I did not have to pay for, and I didn't have to start paying for the car that I got from International Auto Source until a month after I came. If you're anything like me, you're going to feel like people are scamming you. And I always feel like people scamming me. So I was like, why is it like that? Like, why can you even afford to give me that? Okay, then, what's the catch? I haven't found a catch yet. I honestly feel like we get a pretty good rate compared to some American citizens on the car that you get from IAS. I know a lot of people say they're going to go with Advancho, they're going to buy a used car when you get over here. Do as you wish, budget for it. That's all I'm saying. If you think you're going to go to New York or California, or like a city that has really good bus systems, really good train systems, budget for like $200 to $300 a week, just if you're gonna get like the pass to and from, however much you're gonna spend. So budget for that. Google it, like look it up. Look up how much the train pass is weekly in New York, how much the train pass is monthly, along with bus routes. Like Google it before you accept a job offer. And we're gonna allocate $500 to your transportation, and we're going to do that for 2 months. So that is $1,000, which means we are now up to $4,000 out of the $5,000 that I told you to bring. Next, we're going to move on to groceries and furniture. We are talking the bare minimum. You already have an apartment. You do not need a bed right now. You could use a mattress, you could sleep in a sleeping bag, and you could sleep on a blanket. So for furniture, if we're talking the bare minimum until we start working, I would only allocate $200 to $500, which means we are now up to 4,000. Are we? Yes, $4,500 out of the $500 out of the $5,000 that I told you to bring. Next, we're gonna move on to groceries. I would say that's honestly gonna take $200 to $300 per person per month. But then, like, depending on how you eat in, maybe not. But like when I include that $200, $300, like I'm including like pots, pans, actual groceries, ketchup, hot sauce. You don't know what you don't have until you need it and you realize you don't have it. You don't know you don't have hot sauce until you don't have hot sauce. I promise you. Because I needed hot sauce one night and I didn't have it. And I was like, wow, I take hot sauce for granted. I will never do it again. So think about stuff like that. And we're officially at $5,000. And you still ain't even encounter your pop-up expenses yet. If you have a child, you're gonna have pop-up expenses. You're gonna have to like pay random fees for school that could lead up to like $200 to $300. You're gonna have to pay a property tax on the car after you buy it. If you decide to buy a car, that could be between $300 to like $500. Mine was $310, I think it was. Um, you're gonna just have like random stuff. You decide to move to a cold state and you're coming from a warm country, you're not gonna have any clothes. So now you're gonna have to buy winter clothes. And winter clothes ain't cheap. So you see how you're already above like the $5,000. That's why when people ask me, "Oh, how much money do you think I should bring?" It's relative. If you're in New York, you're gonna need to bring more money. If you're in California, you're gonna need to bring more money. If you're in Alaska, you're gonna need to bring more money. I'm in North Carolina, which is one of the cheaper states, and I recommend $5,000, and that is the minimum possible amount of money. And I tell people that high amount of money because you don't know when it is you're gonna start work. I was lucky. I started work like 2 to 3 weeks after I got here. Some people don't start work until like 2 to 3 months after they get here, which means you have no income for 2 to 3 months, nothing. And if you only bring enough for like 1 month's rent because you think you're gonna start working and you don't, where are you gonna get $1,200 from the next month if you're not working? Like, well, how are you gonna send your kids to school with food if you're not working? Like, the agency could tell you all they want, the hospital could tell you all they want, your start date, but it could be pushed back. Like, I know nurses who be like, "Yeah, you start on the 25th," and then the 23rd, and then the email be like, "Oh, due to unforeseen circumstances, we're gonna start you on the 15th of next month." That's a month that you don't have money for. So that's why I said like you need at least 2 months of everything when you move over here, and just consider a lot of the pop-up expenses that you may encounter. If you're bringing a pet, you might need to go to the vet. Like your child might get an accident, you might get an accident, God forbid. But then you might have to go to the hospital because your health insurance hasn't kicked in yet because you haven't started working. So outside of any bonus money or bonus stuff that your hospital may give you or that the agency may give you, I am telling you that you need a minimum of $5,000 US to move to the US comfortably without like complaining and stuff. And this is someone who's moving on their own. Like if you're moving with family, obviously it'll be different, but we're talking about those people who are going to be by themselves or like just them and their family when they decide to move. Okay. Once again, my name is Tommy. This is Shape of Adventures. Like, y'all really just been watching my videos. Y'all really been talking to me or whatever. Y'all like me ain't. Y'all like me ain't. I love you too. Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at Shape of Adventures. You can follow me on TikTok at Shape of Adventures 25. I promise, like, y'all been getting on my case. Like, y'all really been getting on my case about how I've been posting. People like, you ain't post for this week. I ain't posting Instagram in a while. I ain't posting TikTok in a while. But actually, no, Instagram, I think I've been posting a little good. So, that. But yeah, if you guys have a question that you guys don't want to answer and that you guys don't want to ask in the comment box, you could message me on Instagram. Give me a few days to get back to it because I've been getting a lot of messages. So I will try to get back to that as soon as possible. But follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Show me that you love me. Show me that you care. Yeah. And happy venturing.